So, welcome friends. Today we have with us Mr. Ravi Phillips from the University of the Fraser Valley, Abbotsford, and we're going to talk about the recent developments in Canada and how it has changed the whole spectrum of Canadian education. So, first of all, welcome Ravi bhai.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be in your office. We work very closely with you and your team in EduBandate. It's been great working with you guys. It's been a great journey for us. And for hundreds of students who have come through your company, let me assure you, they're doing great. They all are very successful and very comfortable studying at a university.
Awesome. So today, our topic of discussion is going to be about the recent developments because most of the people really want to know कि कनाडा में चल क्या रहा है, ये क्या पहल है, ये क्या मिथ्स है, ये सच है, ये झूठ है, ये आधा सच है, ये पूरा झूठ है. So your version of these myths. So let me begin first by why government is taking these new steps, be it PALs, be it raising the GIC. ये क्या है? क्या are they not interested in having international students anymore?
Okay, so let me assure you and everyone, first of all, Canada is a great country to live. I've been living in Canada for 25 years. I have traveled all across the world and I can tell you it's a great country. I live there, so I know what's happening, okay? There has been a lot of negative social media posts about Canada, people complaining, a lot of reels going on, a lot of TikToks, Instagram posts about negativity. And I don't understand why people are taking such a negative view of Canada. It's a wonderful country. It's a country with one of the lowest crime rates. It's safe. And you know, the most important, Canada is safe and welcoming country.
Yep.
And I made Canada my home for 25 years and I'm proud to be a Canadian. My background is Indian, love it. Now, recently, there have been some changes which the government made, which I believe, in my personal opinion, have been good. For example, the provincial attestation letter requirement for that. I think it's a great move by the government because the government wants students to come to Canada. Absolutely, they want students. You know, international students bring $30 billion. They contribute to the Canadian economy, $30 billion. That's a lot of money. Students who come there, they complete their studies in Canada and they add to the greater good of Canada. They add to the economy of Canada. So Canada as a country welcomes international students. However, recently there have been a few things, as you said, the provincial attestation letter they issued. The reason for that is they want only serious students to come to Canada. Students whose intention is to study and contribute to the growth of Canada. So PAL, provincial attestation letters are being issued by the colleges and universities to only serious students who meet all the qualification and to make sure only the right kind of students get into the country.
PAL is not raising the entry criteria. Through PAL it's only an additional layer. How through PAL can the government ensure that they're getting better students?
So I believe when in last 2 years you saw inflow of huge number of students, whereas for our university we're very happy, we got great students, and I'm sure most institutions got wonderful students, great students who contributed to Canada, whose main intention was studies. But I think there were some students who they were not that genuine and they were maybe not, study was not their goal. So the whole reason for PAL is not raising the entry criteria, it's not raising the requirement because we control the requirements. Yep. For our university, this is our entry requirement and students have to meet. But PAL adds an added layer of security, which we ensure that only those students who meet our entrance requirements for our university are given provincial attestation letter. It's a kind of an added layer of security, and why not? We should get the right students, right?
Why was, in fact, this is an additional question in continuation with PALs. Why were institutes like University of Fraser Valley were able to get a good number of PALs as compared to institutes in Ontario? What was the reason behind that? What's the science behind that?
Great question. University of Fraser Valley has always been, as you've been working with us, you know how particular we are about our entrance requirement because we are a university, our main focus is student success.
Yep.
So we make sure only those students who meet our entrance requirement, who are serious, who are credible, are study at a university. And our attrition rate has been very low. You must have heard a lot of a lot of colleges and university students would go and they would leave. We don't have any of that problem. We get students, they study, they complete their studies, and they graduate. And do you know this? We just had recently graduation. I think our graduation rate is one of the highest in our province. So we've never had any problems with the students. We welcome students, and I think the government recognized the contribution of University of Fraser Valley to the Canadian education sector, and that's why we were given a lot more PALs than maybe other schools haven't got. So that attests to our success, making sure that the students who come to us are successful. So I'll tell you, so it's where Canadian government, Canadian universities, Canadian colleges, their main intention is not to get a student's fees. Their main intention is to have good quality students who add value to the country, who add value to the university. So we want good students.
Right. Moving forward, another point which is causing a lot of spur in the media. Brand Canada, we all believe, has recently taken a hit. Taken a hit in the sense, for the right reasons or the wrong, but media is carrying on a lot of, call it myths or rumors about Canada now not having enough part-time jobs, full-time jobs for international students, not having enough housing for international students, or inflation is taking up because of international students. How true is all these?
So, you know, I was reading an article in which said out of the G20 countries, Canada has the lowest debt. Canadian economy is one of the most healthiest economy. We have done well. However, you have to look at it, the macro picture. You have to look worldwide. It's a difficult time.
Yeah.
India has also have inflation. Europe has inflation. United States has inflation. Canada also has inflation. There are good times. There are little tough times. But I can attest to the fact, I live in Canada. I meet with students. I talk to students every day. I haven't heard from students that they haven't got jobs and all. Maybe some students haven't got jobs. They might find a little difficulty in finding jobs, but most of them have been able to get part-time jobs. Now, some students might not want to work. That's a different thing. That's their choice. But generally speaking, Fraser Valley, where we are located, our student numbers, numbers are good, and our students have been able to find jobs. And the same thing about housing. There have been a lot of news about housing crisis in Canada, about affordability and all. To some extent, it's true in certain areas. Same thing about jobs also. See, Canada is a big country. It's a 3 million square kilometer country. And every province is not the same. Some provinces have a challenge with jobs because there were too many students there all of a sudden, and then there were not enough jobs. Some provinces have that problem. But as far as I can talk about Fraser Valley, because that's where I live, it's been quite manageable. Similarly for housing also. In some areas, there have been housing crises where rental housing is very difficult, or it's hard to find, or it's very hard. It's true. But then again, I live in Abbotsford, Fraser Valley. Our main campus is, UFC's main campus is Abbotsford. We have campus in Chilliwack and Mission. It's manageable. It's not been at an alarming level that students didn't find housing. Sooner or later, they find housing, and UFE itself, addressing to the situation, we are adding additional rooms to our current student residence. We are adding, I believe, about 400 rooms are being added so that we can provide affordable housing. The community of Abbotsford, community of Fraser Valley has really stepped up and supported students. And I believe almost all our students have quite good, decent housing. But then there might be some regions in Canada, some provinces where housing is a problem. That I can make any comment about it. But where we are, it's quite reasonable and quite manageable.
All right. So moving forward, what does the future look like? What do we see happening as far as Canada is concerned? How does it?
See, I can tell you what I believe in, and I can tell you that Canada is a wonderful country, great country. I always say God bless Canada, and it has provided a beautiful life for so many people. I've been in education industry for 23 years, and I've seen thousands and thousands of students come to Canada and change their lives for the better. So moving forward, things are going to be great. It might be a little difficult time because there is a lot of uncertainty. Students have confused, and also there have been a lot of negative publicity, negative social media posts by, I don't know who, whether they're students or there's somebody else have been putting in and just putting a very, putting a negative thing about Canada. And I believe that's not fair. You have to hear both sides of the story. Every country goes through difficult times. Every country. Show me one country in the world where there's not difficult times. India also has a lot of difficult times, but India goes on and India is booming. So Canada, moving forward, I want to assure all students, Canada is a great country. Please choose Canada as a study destination. It has a lot to offer: safe environment, comfortable, and good study experience. So it's going to be great. Please don't lose your hope. Don't follow negative social media posts, and be positive. It's a great country. So
Awesome. So I hope Mr. Ravi Phillips was able to cater to most of the queries that you had in your head. I hope today's conversation helped. Please looking forward to catch up next time. Bye bye. Bye bye, Ravi. Bye.
thank you very much, and I hope to see all of you in Canada.